But we got hold on, make sure this I'm good. We got SCP-610, The Flesh That Hates. SCP animation featuring SCP Animated Tales, aka Games Tunes, because they was like, bro, we about to get the bread from the Games Tunes, the Among Us videos. Hey, I respect the hustle, you know what I mean? But yeah, so we got the Rubber new video. We're not even gonna waste no time. We're gonna get straight into it. We already know what the Rubber talking about it. I never heard of SCP-610, so I'm intrigued to see what this is. If you are on the YouTube video, make sure you tune into Twitch. On our streams, we're gonna start doing SCP Sundays, so we're gonna be doing SCP exploring. We're gonna be doing illustrated. We're gonna be doing a lot of stuff, a lot of the longer videos. So make sure you come to the Twitch. Twitch.tv/Isaiah Cozy. We're about to do a lot of SCP stuff around here. October's gonna be a great month for SCP videos. So make sure you guys tune into the Twitch streams. If not, you're bugging. You're bugging. So let's not waste no time. Let's get straight into this Rubber video. So let's go.
Your discretion is advised. As D2 spasms on the ground, his entire body being overtaken by the sickly tan flesh, almost entirely after 45 seconds.
For a second, I thought I was watching one of them tentacle anime videos, you know what I mean?
D2 is terminated by a gunshot from D1, but that did not stop the spread of SCP-610. Hello everybody, I'm the Rubber. Today, we bring you SCP Foundation Keter Class Object SCP-610, Part 1. First, let me introduce my buddy, from SCP Animated, Tales from the Foundation.
Hi everybody, I'm Dr. K.
Nigga, who are you? We only rep Rubber around here. Nah, I'm playing. But like, bro, who, like, you couldn't get yourself a little cartoon character? Like, you had to be a whole man? Like, come on, bro, you killing the immersion, dog. Come on now, dog. We rep the Rubber around here, dog.
SCP Animated, Tales from the Foundation.
Hi everybody, I'm Dr. K. SCP-610, also known as the Flesh That Hates, appears to be a contagious skin disease, with symptoms including rash, itching, and increased skin sensitivity. Within 3 hours, the disease will cause blemishes, resembling heavy scar tissue to form in the chest and arm areas. Within an additional hour, it will spread to the legs and back, and consuming the victim completely within 5 hours. Exposure to higher temperatures will vastly decrease the time for the contagion to spread, and complete infections have been recorded occurring in as little as 5 minutes.
Thanks, buddy. After the completion...
I know damn well I know that's not all he was there for. I better see Dr. K again. I'm not playing with you, bro. There's no way he came in there for a little monologue. I better see him again. Ain't no way he came in here to tell me about some skin rash. I could have done that. Bro.
Recorded occurring in as little as 5 minutes.
Thanks, buddy. After the completion of the infection, the victim's life functions will cease.
That man paid for like a 10-second feature. Like, come on, bro. Thanks, buddy. That all right, bro. Let's continue, bro. So this is a disease, a contagion, like a parasite.
After the completion of the infection, the victim's life functions will cease for approximately 3 minutes. After that, they will restart at 2 to 3 times the activity rate of a normal human. Following this, the scar tissue on the victims will start to move and grow at a rapid rate.
Oh no.
Normal human features start to disappear at this point, and the path of mutation appears to be largely random.
You said he was an animator?
Victims observed in this stage have been...
Yo! Hold up. You want to be a Black Ops Cold War new zombie so bad. My man looked like the Red Slender Man. I don't even know. I want to say he looked like the Colossal Titan, but that would be so inaccurate. Like, I know what I want to say. He looked like Red Skull in the mid, bro. That's a Red Skull. Hold up. That's who I was thinking about, bro. That's like a nasty Red Skull, bro. That's D's right here. That is D's. Y'all done made Red Skull a SCP, bro. Come on, dog. They done made Red Skull a SCP. Oh my god, bro. Ain't nobody safe out here, dog.
Been recorded as growing 3 or more limbs like arms or legs. The head may become misshapen and elongate or widen out, and parts of the subject may split open from which additional branches of flesh will grow. But the weird thing is, not all subjects appear to progress to the same stage. There are 2 types of infected victims. One of them will cease moving and place itself in...
Okay, that right there is nasty. Like, if you going to transform me and infect me and disease me, bro, at least give me like some legs, you know what I mean?
There are two types of infected.
Like, why would you, bro? Look, bro, like, if you on the right, bro, like, just call it GG's. Like, I'm not even, bro, at least give me like something. Like, at least the one on the left will look cool, you know what I mean? 3 arms, 3 legs, like, give me something. I'm not trying to be no sludge. Alright, bro.
Victims. One of them will cease moving and place itself in a location and roots itself like a plant. The fleshy growth on the victim will then begin to spread itself across all surrounding objects and consume them. However, this type of infection does not infect living creatures. The other kind of infected victims will immediately seek out aid as natural human impulse, resulting in unintended infection. And those who have lost their human form through the scar tissue phase will actively and aggressively attempt to infect anyone approaching them within an undefined area.
Truth be told, if this was real, you cannot contain this, bro. Because if infections are so easy to get, like, all you have to do is touch somebody, and I'm sure there's no immunity and nobody can be like immune to this. It would be GG's. Because how in the world do you contain that? You cannot contain that, because unless you have like mass decontamination, like, I don't know.
If the infected has lost the ability of sight, a range of approximately 30 meters is considered safe.
Damn, see, that's what I'm saying.
Initial reports of 610 came directly from the Russian government, after reports consisted primarily of disappearances of farmers in the region, followed by the local police, regional police, and a government dispatched agent all failed to report within a 72-hour period. A small military contingent was dispatched to the area and quickly withdrew, at which point the Foundation was contacted to investigate. The area SCP-610 affects are close to Lake Baikal and southern Siberia. Areas of known infection are marked on this map. Due to the vast area of infection 610 covers, containment is impossible. Isolation of the area has proved far more effective, and permission has been granted by the Russian government to establish a perimeter to keep people out of these areas. Any living thing coming in physical contact with an organism infected with 610 is considered expendable and is to be immediately terminated and incinerated.
Yeah, incinerated?
Anyone coming within 3 meters of 610 infected life is to immediately withdraw from the area, be isolated from the rest of their team, and subjected to medical examination and observations. Observation of life infected by SCP-610 by staff is impossible. Hence, observations could only be done by using artificial methods, such as remote robots. The data returned from these observations,
yo, it do kind of look like a carnage symbiote. Oh shoot, that's another one too.
Coupled with the openly aggressive nature of the infected to attempt to spread, SCP-610 has resulted in the Keter classification. However, so long as nothing is allowed to enter or leave the infected areas, it is considered a neutralized threat. But after the cavernous areas beneath the infected settlements were discovered during the exploration, the Foundation sent in research personnel for further investigation. There is a total of 5 field exploration logs for both the remote robot and also the human expeditions. The first exploration was done by a small camera-mounted unit known as Herbie. Herbie was dispatched at a safe distance and directed toward a part.
They don't send my nigga Wally in there. Nah, come on, bro. Not Wally, dog.
Part of an infected small village, hereafter referred to as Site A. Many of the homes appear to have suffered fire damage, but a fair amount of buildings are still intact. Through the camera feed, it seems that an estimated population of 79 were infected. Immobile infected are included in this number. However, it is difficult to ascertain an exact percentage of mobile versus immobile. After observing the exterior of the village for 2 hours, Herbie was directed to follow an infected known as Alpha as it entered a home. The home contains multiple visible infected organisms, and Herbie's camera was raised slowly as to not draw attention. Alpha walks around its home multiple times before stopping at another infected, hereafter known as Beta, sitting on a bed. Beta is unable.
Why you start tagging him like that, bro? What he do? Fuck, he said you alive, G?
At another infected, hereafter known as Beta, sitting on a bed. Beta is unable to leave the bed for unknown reasons, but is not completely immobile, as it flails its arms in response to the beatings delivered by Alpha. Moments later, a piercing sound explodes from the area around Beta, who then proceeds to project a cloud of unknown matter into the air from its chest cavity. Alpha lingers in the cloud as it floats in the air around them, slowly descending to the ground. The unknown life form on the table aside Beta begins to twitch in an apparent seizure, and Alpha then laps the room twice more, stopping at each infected organism, but now ignoring Beta. Then Alpha seats itself at the table, reaches out for 3 plates and set it on the table. After the plates are positioned, the facial tendrils extending from Alpha wiggle up and start to coil on each plate, before tearing apart and separating. Alpha then leaves the house. Several minutes later, a group of 6 to 7 infected enter the home. These infected all surround the table, and each takes turn consuming the flesh substance left behind.
Bro, what in the what Alpha got that good? What y'all eating? Alright, bro.
And by Alpha, pressing it into whatever orifices on their bodies, some under the arms, some into mouths, some into the chest, some behind their backs. Herbie remains here for several more minutes before retracting its camera and leaving. Herbie is then directed to explore a store. Here he finds more infected individuals. A Russian soldier who doesn't seem to be moving, but his eyes are in constant movement, often focusing on Herbie. In a storage area, a large pile of bodies are stacked together. Some pieces of clothing are visible and appear to contain both military garb and everyday clothing. Atop the bodies, an infected sits, appearing to have its lower parts fused to the pile, and with its upper half in a wild state of flailing and seizure. Approximately every 10 seconds, a burst of spores flies out the top of this infected, which linger in the air. Herbie then leaves the store and passes by the village well, surrounding which are a series of immobile infected, all facing the well. The arms of each of these infected individuals are stretched out, one in contact with the next, forming a perfect chain.
A sacrifice.
Suddenly, an infected young girl
Back up! Bro, what is this? You about to fuck with my man Wally? Bro,
with the next, forming a perfect chain. Suddenly, an infected young girl grabs and
and a bit from Nemo. Yeah, that's actually kind of funny.
stares at Herbie. Its face balloons in size and explodes outward into a series of fleshy flaps that grip Herbie and draw it inside of her. Herbie's video feed terminates here. 5 hours later, Herbie's video feed resumed. Herbie's camera pointed at the village well, with a slimy film which often oozes across the lens. Herbie does not respond to any remote command, but its video jerks back and forth from target to target, zooming in and out of its own accord. Video feed is cut manually, and all connections to Herbie's unit are ordered erased. The second exploration on SCP-610 happened during construction of the perimeter surrounding SCP-610's containment area. Several Class D personnel were infected. Most of these infected personnel were immediately destroyed with flamethrowers, but a small collection of infected were contained in cold storage units to prolong the progression of infection. In hopes of finding out more information on the origin point of 610, the Foundation sent 3 infected personnel.
Well, he just get closer to the mic? Like, I know y'all heard that spike in volume.
D1, D2, and D3 into Site C with a single video system. Site C is in the same infected village with the Site A mentioned earlier, but different spot. The 3 infected personnel were given 9mm pistols, gasoline, emergency flares, and some food. They were also instructed to observe and avoid interaction with the infected villagers. But if they're attacked by the infected villagers, they're allowed to do as much damage to the site as possible while maintaining video feed. As D1, D2, and D3 enter the site, there is a noticeable rise in the temperature, which requires a further shedding of garments. One of them immediately noticed a large number of immobile pylons arrayed around the site, separated by an apparent distance of 5 to 6 meters. Each pylon appears to be 2 to 4 infected persons, fused together in one spot. Heat vents out of these pylons, and current belief is that this is an advanced stage of SCP-610, terraforming its environment to facilitate spread of itself. D2 begins to seizure after only a few minutes in Site C. The progression to the scar tissue phase of 610 infection is observed in full course, as D2 spasms on the ground, his entire body being overtaken by the sickly tan flesh, almost entirely after 45 seconds. D2 is terminated by a gunshot from D1. But that did not stop the spread of 610. The spread continues even after death of the body, until all movement ceases. As perimeter control is relaying new instructions to D1 and D3, video feed shows a flesh-like growth splitting open beneath D2's body, and a series of ropey tendrils coming from within the gap to pull his corpse inside. This opening closes quickly. Total time elapsed 3 seconds. D1 and D3 quickly proceed to the village center and encounter a sphere suspended by angled supports, comprised of both infected humans and a few specimens of non-human life forms such as deer and bears. The entire sphere of flesh pulses at roughly a 5-second interval, and with each pulse emits a ring of spore-like material from its equator. This material floats to the ground and appears to be absorbed into the converted environment. D3 begins to douse the sphere with the provided gasoline, and a lit emergency flare is applied to it, which immediately goes up in flames. The remote feed plays back an explosive and creature roaring noise from an unknown location that seems to come from a location far outside of Site C, but was reported as being heard even at perimeter control by both Sites C and A. Within 15 seconds following the sound's dissipation, Site A reported that a series of explosions had occurred within the village. 5 seconds after this report, the spherical mass in the middle of Site C explodes, and both D1 and D3 are thrown by the blast. D3 dies instantly, but D1 manages to stand back up. D1's video equipment falls to the ground and was recording in a skyward direction. The last moments of footage from D1's video unit display a humanoid figure unknown creature steps upon the recorded video equipment and destroys it. Perimeter control remained on high alert for a full 24 hours at all locations, without any incident following this event. The destruction caused by the second...
What was that change of emotion, my nigga? Why you get so... You got a little... No, bro, back up with that shit.
Exploration resulted in a series of unexpected events in Site A. That being said, there's still more to add to the story that indicates the danger and horror of SCP-610, but we will explore the rest of it in Part 2. So,
oh my god, the rubber been watching infographics, bro. Really? We doing part 2 videos now, bro? What you been watching the SCP infographics, bro? Why? Why? ¿Por qué? Mi amigo, ¿por qué? Por favor. Part 2. Jesus.
Stay tuned. Before we end this video, we are proud to present these incredibly sweet pieces of fan art.
Yeah, where Dr. K at, dog? Where's Dr. K? You let my man get a 10-second feature in the beginning, bro. So what was the point?
Everybody, I'm Dr. K.
Dr. K been too busy on games tunes. That's what happened. He been too busy making them Among Us videos, dog. Yeah, shout out to Rubber, bro. This is fire, bro. Shout out SCP Animated Tales for Foundation 2, Dr. K. Shout out y'all boys doing y'all thing, but